Well, Target 7 told you how the Democrat candidates for governor have raised a combined $15 million. That is nearly 10 times what Republicans have raised. Tonight, reporter Jason McNabb finds out why the GOP candidates are struggling to bring big bucks to their campaign.
Well, yeah, that's right, Sasha. Look at this chart behind me here. Now, you see in blue is how much that has come from the Democrats. In red, the Republicans. Now, 30% of the Democrats' money comes from out of state. The Republicans have only brought in 1% from outside of New Mexico.
There appears to be a lot of Republican potential contributors who are still sitting on the fence and waiting to see what's up and whether they're willing to contribute to some of these Republican candidates.
That's how KOAT political analyst Brian Sanderoff explains the big difference in the amount of money that has been raised thus far by the three Republican candidates. Here's how it breaks down. Cannabis CEO Duke Rodriguez is leading the money race with $514,000 raised, but nearly all of that is his own money.
But he's not a party insider, so it's not surprising to hear that he is self-funding his campaign.
Public relations executive Doug Turner has raised $506,000, with most of it coming from petroleum companies and the Yates family, which was the first to discover commercial oil on state lands more than 100 years ago.
Those people can help garner lots of funds when they really want to.
And in third is Rio Rancho Mayor Greg Hull. He has raised $494,000 from mostly Rio Rancho business owners.
When you look at Greg Hull's contributions, what do most of them have in common? They're business people who run businesses. What is Greg Hull? He's the same.
Add all that money up. It equals 1/10 of what Democratic candidates Sam Bregman and Deb Haaland have raised.
The Republicans have not raised nearly as many dollars as the Democrats, and if you exclude the self-funded monies, it's even less.
Sanderoff says there's not a lot setting the Republican candidates apart, which has people unsure of who to give money to.
The three Republican candidates are all business-oriented people with some political experience. They're not that far off ideologically.
But there is one glaring difference from the Republican candidates when you compare their money to Democrat counterparts. Nearly 99% of the people who donated to them are actually from New Mexico. Now take a look at Democrat frontrunner Deb Haaland. She's been able to bring in nearly $8 million in out-of-state money, accounting for 72% of the cash she's raised.
Local elections in New Mexico are influenced by national politics, and we're about to have a midterm general election.
So, will things change between now and the primary?
So it'll be interesting to see how much money is contributed to the Republican candidates in the closing months. That could really make the difference in the Republican primary.
Now, one of those differences that Sanderoff mentioned could be happening here in the next few weeks. Turner's supposed to be speaking at a fundraiser at President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Florida. Now, Sanderoff says it might help him in the primary, but it could also hurt him in the general election if he gets that Republican nomination. For Target 7, I'm Jason McNabb.
Well, Jason, thank you. In case you missed it, our Target 7 team also uncovered the campaign financing for Democratic candidates, including a look at how some donors from outside the state are helping fund their efforts.